Welcome back, folks. Today we're doing another video. What we're doing today, we're playing a game called StarMade. It is currently in alpha. The version I'm playing, which is the latest version at the moment, is alpha version 0.09377. So it is very similar to Minecraft, but only in the fact of it's very blocky. According to the game's developer, it is based off of Minecraft, but you fly around. Get away from that shop. You fly around in ships and make ships and harvest resources, battle pirates or other ships, and build bigger ships. I guess is pretty much how the game works. So what I've decided after Wednesday being like completely mixed up like every single week, I think I'm finally going to settle with every Wednesday will be a tutorial of some kind of game, no matter what. So today I'm going to be doing a tutorial of how to do a ship, or how to build a ship. So you start off with 25 gray hull, 6 power cores, SD, so I can look at it, SD HCT XM 3.4 power. That is the main and I believe only source like power generators. There's energy stores you can buy that don't create energy, but they just store it. I believe they're a bit cheaper. And then you got Hyperflex coil thrusters, which are the thrusters in the game, and I believe the only so far. Then there's weapons computer, which makes your weapons work. And there's many different weapons computers, which I'll get into eventually. And then antimatter cannon, which is the default type of gun. It's just a laser gun. And then a ship core, which you need to build your ship. So this is what you start off the game with. And you also get 25,000 credits. So up here is the HUD. HUD consists of a minimap up here, which isn't very descriptive or like showing much. Then there's the thing that says shop and range, which means you can access the shop. If I were to say fly away this direction, I don't know, I'll do it later. It's a bit far that you have to fly away. This is the speed that you're going at, that you're flying your ship at. Doesn't show it when you're just flying around, just walking, I guess. So it's in kilometers per hour, so it is metric. So anybody that's using Imperial, you may have a bit of trouble there. But I believe it's 60k is the highway speed in the US, and like everywhere else, like Canada, is 100s, and they're roughly the same. So if you're heading 100k, which you can't actually go up to, the highest you can go is 250. So probably roughly around 30 to 40k or miles per hour. Then there's saying escape to go to main menu. There's inventory, which is I. Shop is B if you're in range. Weapons is T, which you can only access inside ships. And then navigation will show things around you, which you can also filter with asteroids, planets, astronauts, ships, shops, and space stations. Which we'll get into all of those later. Also, it says, how much credits you have. Your speed is here, of course, as I've said before. And then it's got your username, void system sector, which I'm not sure what that is. And then your coordinates, and X, Y, and Z pattern. So every once in a while it auto saves and says brace yourself for a lag spike. Usually it doesn't affect me much. Even I'm also playing on a laptop too, and it's not the best laptop, so chances are your computer should not be affected too much by this. But not if you're playing on a toaster, you might have an issue, or a microwave. But So there's a rock there, and a rock there. How's this? So to start off building your ship, also F1 you can hit to have some help there. So the Y has keys to move around, Q and E to move up. So up, E to go up, Q to go down. There's also create new ship, which we'll get into. Enter ship. Says it's V. I think I have mine set to R. Actually. Unless they've changed it, because I just updated. And you can also configure everything here. This is an options, player statistics. You can also hit tab and it shows kills, deaths, your ping, and team. So I'm apparently team 0. Oh, there. I have a bit of a problem with lag spike there, but that is also because I'm recording. But other than that, it's not too intensive of a game. I'm running 30 frames per second while recording, and as I said, not the best computer. So you hit X to create a new ship. Then say I want to name my ship that, but you cannot have spaces. So as you can see, invalid name must contain only letters, numbers, or underscores, or I'm not certain what that key is, but it's like the up arrow. Looks kind of like that, but shorter. It's like only the top part. But if you say that, like 555, sorry, then like the short version of that, and like 3, so it's like 55 to the power of 3 is what it implies. But it doesn't really matter. Or cubed, I guess, actually, is that. But I'm going to name my flying underscore thingy. Oh, I just got rid of that. Oh. So I'm going to. So if you hit enter, you can go into chat. Okay. So if I do create my own ship, so I'm going to call it HMS underscore flying underscore thingy. Does not matter what your ship's called. You don't even need the HMS. You could just name it like Pi. Just name your ship like Pi, and that would work. But I don't have another ship core. So you start off with one ship core. So is R to enter ship. Don't know why it says V. And well, of course, also Alt detaches mouse. Doesn't seem to be wanting to work here. So if you hit this, it will default you in build mode. And build mode, you can fly around, and there's also an arrow here, pointing to the direction of what your ship is flying in. If you hit space, you now go into fly mode, and you can fly around. Hold shift to stop yourself, and C will point you in a direction. Not sure why it was chosen that direction. I guess it's probably north. I think X, Y, and Z. Yeah, I guess Z is, I believe, north. Of course, Y is going up, and X is this direction and this direction. So, if you enter your ship and go into build mode, first of all, it's yelling at me saying, no thrusters connected to core. Well, if you add anything onto your ship, Like, you can fly around with just the core, but it's not the fastest. It's not got very good acceleration or deceleration. So if I were to add like this on, just a bunch of gray hull. Plus, also when designing a ship, you got to keep in mind the fact that you have to be able to access core. So now you can see the acceleration is very poor, and trying to stop is like impossible. How about I go into build mode? Get rid of all of this. Now you can start adding parts onto your ship. So, weapons computer, I'll add there, but I'll explain those in a bit. So then you've got power cores, and keep those there. As we'll add in these 1, 2, 4. Add in just 2 gray hull and some thrusters. This. Next, if you say place down like another weapons computer sort, it will select that, and you hit C to select certain things. So if you do this, it will say it's connected to this, like to the ship core, not the ship core, the weapons computer and the 6 thrusters. But if I deselect that, you say if you like place this down but not in the ship, you can always select the ship core and select V to connect that. Can't connect to power cores. I guess the power cores just work automatically. But if I say select X is to reset camera, apparently. Forgot about that. So if I say select this, now if I place down these cannons, they will be automatically hooked onto the weapons computer. But if I disable that, select you, now I can just say V, 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 and V. So there, now I have a working ship. Get into build mode, get out of it, sorry. Now I can fly around. I've got pretty good speeds, stuff. You can of course strafe up and down, such. This is to dock. You also hit T to open weapons, and then you can bind things. So I could say I want to bind this to 6, and now it's bound to 6. Just click whatever, bind it to 1. And you can also say drop the percentage of what you want this to do. So say I want to make it weaker shot, so Q. So now it's weaker. Now it will be weaker. But if you're going to be fighting anything that you want, so if you say like want to fight somebody else, but you've got much more cannons, you can just say drop down your cannons to make them weaker to fight the other person. So now if I take this, set myself, and then shoot. No matter where you're shooting, where the crosshairs meet an object, the bullets will match, unless of course you are like close like this. Then it will try its best, but it's not always possible. So there's an ore there. At the start, you can just exit your ship. Here, pick up the ore. It's Quantigen L3. Level 3. Pick this up, and this is Plextanium L1. So that is essentially glass, I guess. Glass ore. So I just picked up more Plextanium, and I've got red rock. If I harvest a bunch of this, now I've got red rock and red dirt. Also, if you're trying to play this from playing Minecraft, these scrolls are swapped. So scrolling down will go across to the left, like this is now scrolling up, and this is now scrolling down. Plus also, right click is to place blocks, and left click is to remove them. Or, sorry, Left click is to place, right click is to remove. So it is swapped from Minecraft in that manner. Plus, also, the way the flying works is where you look. If you're holding W, that's the direction you'll go. So E will go up. But if you're, say, looking down like this, E will go forwards. It does take a bit to get used to, but I find it is different of it's enough of a different game where you don't have to worry too much about that. So if I get back into my ship, fly over here, X to rotate to the right, Z to rotate to the left. So if I actually go into shop here, which you can go into from inventory, or you can go into there from from the B key. You can go into general, ship, factory, manufacturing, space station, and terrain. You don't need to go into factory or manufacturing for quite a while. But first, there's terrain, which you can usually get like a lot of blocks for cheap. Say sand is where you can get 834 of them for 834 credits, which is not much, of course. So what I tend to do is because hulls are in general and then hulls, because these are worth so much, I can say sell 21 of them, and now I've got a lot more money. So this is the power tank, where it holds power, and 471 is the price of them, and 471 is the price of power. So, by the looks of it, from the last version, things have gone up in price. Plex doors used to be $700, they're now $1,001. I believe that is because the prices will now probably vary, based on the fact that they're not even numbers. Build block, I don't know how much that used to be, but if I say go into ship, the ship core used to be, the estimated price is now $2,100. It used to be $1,400. So what you may want to do is, if you want to collect a lot of money very quickly, is you want to buy a salvage computer and salvage cannons. So also you can sell your minerals by going into either inventory, where you can just drop to the left, or you can go into shop, into terrain and minerals, and find the minerals you're trying to sell. But it is a lot easier to do this because you do not have to look for them. So you can sell red dirt because it's not worth much though. So Quantigen level 3 will probably be worth, yes, $1,000. Oh wait, no, currently worth 1,402 credits to sell. You can see how much here is it per thing here, so it's 4 times that. So sometimes I guess the price will vary now. So I don't have much in my inventory, but if I say send to myself there, go into build mode with space again. Now because terrain is so cheap to buy, I tend to build my ships out of terrain at first. So if I minimize minerals, I can say minimize please. I can buy, say, how much is there? 562. 562. There. Now I spent $560 on a block that will probably be enough to build an entire ship out of. Now there is an advantage to buying hulls for a ship, because there is the wedge blocks and corner blocks, which can look fairly nice on a ship, which doesn't exist on terrain, but it is a lot more expensive. It's now worth $125, I believe, opposed to, yeah, so almost $200 per block, opposed to, like, that's $162 for 1 block or $162 for 162 blocks. So you got to worry about, say, that. But if I am to build a ship here, and then I can place down a weapons computer here and a salvage computer here. I will buy a lot more salvage cannons here because once you get a lot, they can be very useful. So I'm going to buy 20 of them. Now I'm going to take them and make them the length of the ship here. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll make them very long because they can be very useful. What I will do here is actually create them like this. So there's one right in the center. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. So now, also, another thing in the ship is if you're trying to build a ship where it is, say, a room. So there's like a room in there and it's completely closed off. You will want to find something it's in the ships category of the shop, and it is called the SD cockpit. And when you place down one of these, say I want to place it down right here, if I go into ship mode, I can use the left and right arrow keys to swap between them. So I want to set the salvage computer back down to 1, and of course, as you can see here, it will be shooting out the front of the ship. So what I've decided probably works, like how the things work, is it starts from one part of the ship and goes down to find the longest cannon. And the way that works is it goes layer by layer by layer. So it goes do 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 do. Oh, I found a cannon. So how long is this? It's however long blocks long. However many blocks long. Okay, let's keep this in mind. And then it goes, continues on. Oh, here's another cannon. How long is it? Not as long as this. Continues going. Finds this. How long is this? Not as long. It goes through another layer. Oh, this has already been checked. This has already been checked. Of course, I'm not certain about this. That's just how I believe it works, based on how I've gotten them to work before. How to choose which cannon it will fire out of. Because, of course, if you take this block and connect it all the way down to prevent it from having, like, however many cables, lasers, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, instead of having 8 lasers all firing at once, it puts 1 and it will fire out the tip. And, of course, it says, hey, this is also connecting. It's directly connecting, so it might as well just fire at the one tip. So next, you want to, that's the salvage cannon selected. So I want to select this, of course. So I was saying before, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I go into this, so salvage computer is set to 1, and I'll set the weapons to 2. Salvage cannon, you can't change the things on it, like you can't change the power and stuff, like the antimatter cannons. But I can do, say, this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sure. So in here, because it is just empty blocks, I might as well put in, you can no clip 2 as well when you're in build mode. So place on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Place down a cannon there. So the one problem with this though is they will fire both at the same thing. So you want to have it work something like this. And then you can corrupt this back bit here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, say, for instance. Then you can have back fin, of course, not required, but it just looks nicer. And there, now you have a ship. So now, if I were to enter the ship here, of course it's got decent acceleration and sorts. You could definitely add more thrusters onto it to make it handle better. But now if I say shoot beams at this, it does not show up there because at the bottom, because whatever, it is the weapons there. But now if I look in, I've got 4 red dirt and 34 red rock. If I do this for a couple seconds, you can see how fast it's harvesting. Now if I go into here, it is now 63 red rock, 9 red dirt, and Quantigen level 1. So as you can see in the top here, it does not say shop in range. And if I hit B, it says error, there are no shops near you. They're not. You are not near any shops, actually, is what it says exactly. If I open this and sell Quantigen, there. Now, this docking beam, we will get into docking beam core. We will get into eventually. So the Bobby AI module is more advanced. What that does is you apply that to a ship and it gives it an AI, so you can say have a bunch of fighter ships that have an AI around you. So I'll go through all the different computers and tell you what they do. So in the ship, it starts off with ship core, of course, you know what that does. You need one of those to create a ship, and that's the thing you enter at the front. There's the weapons computer, which of course makes the weapons work. The weapons computer makes the antimatter cannon work. Then there's the salvage computer, which you need for the salvage cannons to work. The astro technician, this is for, say, repairing a ship. So if so you can have like a repair ship that has like a lot of power, and I guess it converts power essentially into repairing a ship. So if you have a ship that's damaged that doesn't have any power cores or anything, you can of course just repair the power. Of course, the core, because the core can take damage, and this is the health HP when you're in the ship, I believe, and that will go down eventually. And I also think that probably fixes the shields as well. The missile is just a dumb missile, a dumbfire missile that just fires straight. It's the SDKB. It's a heat-seeking missile. That's the SDKB missile. And then the SDBB. So this will just lock onto any ship that you tell it to. There's the disintegrator explosive, which means you can say create a ship that's just full of those and fly it right into another ship, say. It would be expensive, but it would do a lot of damage to the ship. Next is the 0C cloaker, which makes your ship invisible, but I'm not sure if it's saying invisible to people's eyes or it's invisible to lock on any missile lock on, like you can't be locked onto. There's the radar jammer, which basically takes you off the radar, I guess. The thrusters, of course, you know what they are. The SD shield dispensers, So I'll actually buy a shield dispenser here. Go into build mode. And put down... Let's actually put a bunch in here. And if I go into shop, I can place down a bunch here. Of course, now if I look off to right here, as you can see, it says mass is 11.9, which is 119. The length is 12 meters. The height is 8 meters, which is 12 blocks, 8 blocks, and 6 blocks wide. It's got 20,000 out of 20,000 power, and it regains 763.8 energy per second. Thrust is 9.5. Not certain like how many, like what a thruster does for power. Then it's got shields, which is slowly building up. As you can see, it's got 572 out of 2000. It regains 10 shields per second. And as you can see right here, it is slowly going up, and that is your speed. So if you were to say shoot this from another ship, it would not take any damage, but the shields would just drop in power. Also, one quick tip before I end off this video here: do not you can't damage this with just a force field, so you can't damage it with this beam. You can't damage, first of all, you can't actually just harvest this, otherwise that would be a lot of hull that you could harvest there. And you can't harvest it with these beams here, otherwise it would just, yeah, it would they'll send ships after you to kill you, and it's not something you want to happen because they will do considerable damage to you. So one tip, if you do want to get a lot of money, is if you can find a space station, which I will show next episode what one of those looks like. You can harvest that, and they're made of hull mainly, so you can harvest a bunch of that hull, which you'll need a salvage cannon, a bunch of salvage cannons if you want to actually harvest that quickly. And then you can just sell that to a shop. Now, some shops will actually not carry all the items in the shop, so you'll have to find other shops to get certain items. Like, if I can slow down here. By the looks of it, in the latest version, items now vary in cost per shop, I believe. But if I say go into train, it says not applicable. That's how much is in stock. So if I were to say, try and buy this, it says not for sale because they don't have any there. That happens a lot with actually the minerals. They don't tend to have many minerals in stock. Apparently they have like everyone now, just in spite of me. It seems like the price of this is just outrageous. Plutonium level 5. So if I just sell some plutonium level 1, that's worth like $14. So of course, green stuff, what's that? Classified. Of course, everything is sorted by alphabetical order, I believe. Well, actually no, Osmite apparently is worth a lot more. Well, I guess it's probably done by top price of the highest item. But of course, the higher level of the object, the more it is worth. You can drop credits like this, so I can drop 5 credits there. And that's what credits look like. Note, so if I fly closer to the shop here, you can hear that sound there. I've modified my game, so I've taken out there's a lot of ambient noises in the game that include the sound of when you're, say, in the cockpit, or when you're out of the cockpit. Like there, you can hear it there a bit. But if I fly away, it would be making a lot of ambient noises, but I've replaced those sound files with just blank noise. So if you want to do that, you can always just find the sound files and record with, say, Audacity, just blank noise, which I did, and I just put those in with those names and replace them. But this has been a longer video than normal. That's it for today. See you next time, folks. Bye.